Jesus Christ, look at that. I know, I can see it. That wave is a good 15-20 feet tall. Easy. Get in!
There's something lurking beneath the surface of the beautiful Hawaiian Islands, an earth-shattering threat that could one day transform the paradise into a land of destruction.
First at 4:30, April is Tsunami Awareness Month here in Hawaii.
However, emergency leaders are reminding the public to be ready year-round. Drew Davis joins us with a look on how to stay prepared in case of an approaching tsunami.
While Hawaii's beaches, volcanoes, and tropical landscapes make it a dream destination for millions of tourists, few are aware that the islands are sitting on a time bomb of seismic instability that could trigger one of the most catastrophic events to ever strike the Pacific, a mega tsunami. Hawaii's volcanic islands are not only breathtaking but also remarkably unstable. The Hawaiian archipelago, formed by a hot spot of volcanic activity, is growing rapidly as the Pacific plate moves over the heat source. This makes Hawaii one of the fastest growing landforms on Earth, but it also makes the islands a ticking time bomb when it comes to natural disasters. The islands have witnessed colossal landslides in the past, and seismologists and geologists are certain that future landslides will trigger mega tsunamis, waves so large and powerful they could inundate Hawaii and its surrounding regions, including the US West Coast. The most significant danger comes from massive landslides off the flanks of Hawaii's volcanoes. These volcanoes are so large that their slopes are vulnerable to catastrophic collapse. As these volcanoes continue to grow, the stresses on their slopes increase, eventually leading to their collapse into the sea. When this happens, it doesn't just cause a localized disruption, it creates a massive tsunami that can travel across the Pacific, devastating coastlines far and wide. The evidence for these mega tsunamis is clear. Sonar images have revealed the remains of massive displaced blocks of material scattered across the seafloor. These huge chunks of rock and debris are the remains of landslides that have occurred in the past, and they point to the inevitable truth. Hawaii is not immune to future disasters of this magnitude. Take, for example, the Nuuanu Slide, which occurred about 1 to 1.5 million years ago off the northeast coast of Oahu. This is one of the largest landslides ever recorded on Earth, spanning 235 kilometers wide and 35 kilometers long. The catastrophic event caused nearly half of the Ko'olau volcano to collapse into the ocean, creating a tsunami that swept through the Hawaiian Islands with waves that were potentially over 100 meters high. The Tuscaloosa Seamount, a gigantic block measuring 30 kilometers long, 17 kilometers wide, and 2 kilometers high, was carried by the waves, evidence of the sheer scale of destruction that the tsunami would have caused. Other landslides like the Wailua Slide off the north coast of Molokai paint a similar picture of devastation. These landslides left behind a trail of destruction, and evidence on the islands suggests that tsunamis triggered by these events may have reached as far as the west coast of the US. However, despite the evidence, there is no clear historical record of such a mega tsunami, which leaves much to speculation. Even though scientists are still piecing together the data, there is no doubt that these past events triggered waves that reshaped the Hawaiian coastline and could do so again in the future. Imagine 100-meter high waves crashing into the islands, wiping out cities, infrastructure, and everything in their path. This could be Hawaii's fate in the not-so-distant future. The Helena Slump is another region of concern, located on the southeast flank of the Big Island. It's an area where the constant growth of the volcanoes is causing a gradual slippage of the landmass toward the ocean. This is a dangerous area because the more the volcanoes grow, the more unstable the land becomes. The Great Crack on the southwest rift zone of Kilauea, a massive 6-mile-long rift, serves as a vivid reminder of the rapid movement occurring beneath the surface. The Helena Slump is expected to collapse into the ocean eventually, creating one of the largest mega tsunamis the world has ever seen. GPS data indicates that the region is moving at a rate of 10 centimeters per year, and with the increasing speed speed, the inevitable collapse could send devastating waves across the Pacific. This imminent threat is something scientists are closely monitoring, as it poses a direct risk not just to Hawaii, but to coastal regions around the Pacific. Scientists have been warning for years that it's not a matter of if, but when this disaster will occur. As the youngest Hawaiian islands continue to grow, they remain susceptible to the kind of catastrophic landslides that trigger mega tsunamis. These waves have the potential to reach shorelines as far as Australia, Japan, and even the US West Coast. But just how big could these tsunamis be? Let's talk numbers. A mega tsunami triggered by the collapse of one of Hawaii's giant volcanoes could send waves up to 500 meters high. Yes, 500 meters. These waves would be enough to wipe out entire islands, drown coastal cities, and leave millions of people without homes or livelihoods. In 2003, geologists discovered evidence of a 500-meter tsunami that struck the Big Island approximately 120,000 years ago. The source of this destruction was the Alika 2 landslide, a 350 cubic kilometer collapse on the western side of the Big Island. This ancient event has been linked to marine fossils found hundreds of meters above the current sea level, suggesting that the tsunami carried these fossils far inland. The timing and scale of this wave point to a mega tsunami that scoured Hawaii's shores in a way that no one has seen since. While the evidence is still debated among scientists, there is no denying the potential magnitude of the threat. Imagine waves so tall they could swallow entire buildings, submerge entire communities, and trigger widespread destruction across the Pacific. The timing of such an event is the question, and scientists can only speculate on when it might happen. Scientists are quick to remind us that mega tsunamis are rare events. The last major landslide that triggered such an event was 120,000 years ago, and it's believed that catastrophic tsunamis like this are extremely unlikely in the near future. However, the geological history of Hawaii makes it clear that this isn't a one-time event. The islands are in constant motion, and seismic activity is a regular occurrence. The Hailina slump is showing signs of increasing tectonic movement, which means that future landslides could trigger waves that devastate entire coastal regions. But Hawaii is not the only place at risk. These massive tsunamis don't just affect the islands. They send giant waves traveling across the Pacific Ocean, reaching places as far away as California, Japan, and even the Philippines. Tsunami simulations have shown that the coastal areas of the US could be severely impacted by these waves, with waves crashing into California's coastline, Alaska, and even the west coast of Canada. The power of these waves would be unstoppable. Imagine entire cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, or even Vancouver being hit by waves that could be several stories high. The destruction would be catastrophic, leaving entire regions underwater, causing billions in damages and displacing millions of people. The tsunami's aftermath would be felt globally as the waves cross the entire Pacific Ocean and wreak havoc on coastlines across the globe. So what can we do about it? While the threat of a mega tsunami is real, it's also something we cannot predict with certainty. Scientists are working hard to monitor volcanic activity in Hawaii and across the Pacific, hoping to detect any early warning signs of an impending collapse. Some countries have also put in place tsunami warning systems, but the sheer scale of a mega tsunami would make it difficult to evacuate in time. There's no easy solution, but awareness and preparation are key. In the face of such a massive threat, it's essential to consider how we can protect ourselves, our communities, and the global coastline. Building infrastructure to withstand tsunamis, improving early warning systems, and creating evacuation plans are all vital steps to mitigating the risks. While it's easy to dismiss such warnings, the reality is that Hawaii sits atop one of the most geologically unstable areas on Earth. The volcanic activity, rapid growth of the islands, and tectonic movements all point to a real and present danger. Whether it's the Hailina slump, the Nuuanu slide, or the Alika 2 landslide, there are undeniable signals that future mega tsunamis will occur. It may not be today or tomorrow, but it's clear that Hawaii's geological future is uncertain, and we all need to prepare for the worst-case scenario. As scientists continue to study the past and monitor the present, we can only hope that the warning signs come early enough to prevent the next mega tsunami from claiming more than just the islands, but entire coastal regions across the globe.